That intro was top notch, man.
Man, I mean, I felt like that embodied your spirit. So,
Did.
possibly has a cousin that's a sardine. Yeah, dude, I feel like you might.
And I didn't know if I was on the screen, so I was kind of sitting here just smiling at my webcam for a little bit. I didn't know how if like the stream was delayed, and I was like, am I on the screen or not right now? So we're just gonna, hey.
That's how that's how my stream goes every day. Like, I don't know if I'm on the screen or not. So like,
yeah,
I just pretend that it's gonna happen, and we'll see what happens. Like,
for sure, dude.
So
kinda like, you just fly by the seat of your pants. It's kind of how I go.
Yeah, dude. You know, with streaming, it's just like, is that thing watching me? Are those people watching me? Oh, I should smile here.
Gaming. I just had times where I was like gaming. I'm like, wait, did I actually click start streaming by accident? I'm like looking around. I'm like, wait, okay, no one's here with me. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, there have been times too where it's like, like you just forget, and so it'll be literal hours of just gaming that I've seen on stream, and it happens. Like if you get on r/Twitch, like the subreddit, there's links usually every day of some guy that's fell asleep while gaming on Twitch.
It happened to like some really older man like a year or so ago, and he woke up to like hundreds of people in his chat and like a bunch of subs and stuff like that.
Yes, 100%.
Asleep.
That like 100% happened. He like woke up with like 2,000 viewers and a bunch of like bits and just crazy shit, which is crazy, but Twitch is just fickle. So I mean, cool for them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine though? Like, A, how embarrassing is that? And then B, like, how do you respond? Like, what do you wake up and say? Like, oh, hey guys, like,
welcome to the stream. Did you enjoy the 3-hour intro?
Like, I just can't imagine, dude. That's crazy to me. Like, absolutely nuts.
I know, like some other streamers purposely fell asleep on stream. Like big streamers have done that before.
There was somebody, it might have been Soda, I don't know who was like actually sleeping every day on stream.
Oh, that sounds like something Soda would do. I know XQC's done it. I know a bunch of like WoW streamers did it when they were waiting for queue. They would just like they would start their stream and then just like have their queue going. Well, like when Classic first came out and stuff like that. I don't know, man. It's a wild time. It's a wild place.
So I'm just kind of picking here. Chad, if somebody mentioned Tuna might have been a little low, I cranked him up quite a bit.
Hello. Yeah, I the setup for me and the way I'm being perceived is a little different than normal. So it's big. It's a whole ordeal. We don't need to get into that.
You don't like this? Are you good? Are you comfortable?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Yeah, no, because I had to put Discord on my stream PC versus my game PC. So like the audio, the audio interface is a very complicated system. You know, kind of like a fine wine, if you will. I'm a big wine guy over here.
I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna take your word for it.
I think it's something people say. I don't know.
Okay. I guess. I mean, I believe you. Sounds better now. Okay, so we're getting the all clear.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good, man.
So I know that like last podcast, and this is just for everybody, it was very much unplanned on my end. I did send Tuna a list of questions. I did not commit to asking him any of them, but I did send Tuna a list of questions.
The last question is my favorite question. I can't wait to get to it.
I'm a little concerned about the last question. You guys will just have to see what it is. So I'm letting that one be known right now. No, I do have some questions. And so, you know, I think part of me when I envisioned doing this podcast, like I want to be able to highlight other content creators, whether it's for the 4 live viewers that we have right now or the 4 million that we're going to have tomorrow when we post this on YouTube. Like it doesn't, to me, like being able to highlight people, I think is interesting because we all have a story to tell about streaming, but I think that all of us feel really weird talking about ourselves as streamers, right? Like it's, at least for me personally, like I don't like getting on cam every day and just being like, God, today work sucked. And by the way, like I have 3 toes on my left foot. Like I don't like talking about those things, right? Like,
right.
But
right.
having that ability to talk about yourself and build your brand, I think is important, but I don't know that anybody's ever really given that platform to do it until all of a sudden you're just a major streamer. And then I think it just catches up. So for me, my goal with this is for you guys to hopefully get to know me a little bit better, but ultimately for you guys to enjoy and meet some awesome content creators and people that are involved in the gaming world or whatever the hell it was that we talked about last week, because I still don't know, and just kind of roll. So, Tuna, you've been streaming for a while, but what kind of, and we're going to just run into it. Like, let's just start. Like,
yeah, bro.
Why did you get into content creation? Because that's what I'm going to call it.
It's an interesting story because I've talked about this a couple times on my stream and stuff like that. But when I went to college, I actually didn't play like video games for like 3 years. Like my freshman, sophomore, junior year of college, I like was completely out of gaming, and I grew up gaming my whole life all the way through high school. And I kind of got out of it, and then it's kind of weird. It sounds kind of embarrassing. I started getting back into it because some of my buddies. We play games on the sides here and there, but I didn't own a console. I didn't own a PC, and Fortnite started blowing up. And so I started playing Fortnite, and I started playing Fortnite with my buddies. Then I got an Xbox so we could all play. And then that's kind of how I started getting back into gaming. And then it's ultimately how I found Twitch also. And I started watching, I mean, obviously found like the big streamers, the big Fortnite unsubbing. I see that in chat, iPod. That's true. But I started watching Twitch, and I started loving Twitch and just the whole platform as a whole. And so probably like 8 months or so after I started getting back into gaming, I bought my first gaming PC. Growing up, I always played on consoles. So I bought my first gaming PC. I started PC gaming. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. I started doing that for a while, and then I graduated college, moved to another state for where I currently live, and I lived by myself, and I played a lot of games, and I was like, you know what? I spent half my time on Twitch, well, outside of work, half my time on Twitch, half my time gaming. Why don't I try being a streamer? Like, I could try it. Like, why not? It's free. It's something to do. I just needed a couple more. I needed to buy like a webcam and a second monitor or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, let's just do it. And so that's how I started getting into it. And then the more I got into it, the more I just like, I've always been a person who like, I want to do the best that I could possibly can do. Like, I don't half-ass things. I full go into it. So I'm like, I was watching other streamers, small streamers, big streamers. I was watching YouTube videos. I was taking a ton of content, just how to become a better content creator. And I still do to this day. I'm by no means a finished product, but that's kind of how I got into it. And once I started kind of building a community and meeting so many cool people through Twitch and through gaming, I'm like, now I kind of do it just to, first off, it's just a cool way to hang out with friends, and I consider a lot of people that I meet on Twitch friends. And yeah, that's what keeps me going. It's just like, it's something to do. It's fun. I like hanging out with people. I like making people happy. I like meeting new people. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into Twitch.
The community side of it, right? Like the community side of it is, a lot of people don't think about it. And for me, it didn't really hit me like until I woke up one day and I had a tag on Discord that was like, hey, are you okay? We missed your stream. And it's like, oh shit, people care about me. Like, and it may not be a lot of people, but you're like, okay, now I have people on the internet who I just let down because B, I decided to sleep, or A, I decided to sleep, and B, like, that's, whoa, like, hold on. Like, people actually plan for my own content. So for me, like, that was that point where it was like, okay, like, this is kind of something. So I want to take one step back and ask, what the hell kind of college student doesn't play video games for 3 years? Like, let's pump them brakes real quick. So
it's not so much that I didn't play games.
You were too good for games. I got it. It's fine. We understand.
I didn't own a console. So I growing up, my brother and I, we had PlayStations and Xbox. But
how old's your brother?
Together,
how old's your brother?
My brother's he's a year and a half older than me. So he's what is it? He's gonna be 26 in like a month. So I'm 24.
Cool.
And so we were always super close, and we would game together. We would just do all that sort of stuff. But then once I went to college, he was going to like a local community college, and so he didn't have to leave to go to college. And I'm like, well, I'm not just gonna bring the Xbox with me. So I'm like, dude, it's like fine, it's yours. I don't care. And so it's kind of his.
Sure.
And so when I went to college, I had buddies who had Xboxes and PlayStation, all sort of stuff. So I would still game, but I was ass at it and I barely played.
So nothing's changed, and here we are.
Exactly.
Still are. No, that's awesome. So I mean, I feel that. So you and I share something that I think is pretty unique that I think we've only talked about once, which is we were both collegiate athletes. Yeah. And then we both played college football. And we both played at a Division III school. Is that correct?
Yeah, I played at I went to a Division III private school.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. Just not in Wisconsin. So to me, that's also like a huge point of connection for us personally. Like I vibe with that because I think that I don't know why or how, but I think that impacts like playing college football. I think impacts like every day of my life in some capacity.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agrry.
Like sometimes I do stupid shit and I think about what one of my coaches specifically would say to me, which was, "Hey dude, what the hell are you doing?" And like you say that out loud and it's like, yeah, okay. But like when you hear it in the voice and the accent and the look that coach is giving you, you're like, ah, shit.
There's a lot of things I think go unnoticed about collegiate athletes or just athletes in general is when playing football in college is a lot different than playing football in high school, but like in college, it's
a job
24/7.
Yeah, it's a job.
You're working out in the morning, whether it's in season or out of season, you're going to meetings, you're doing all this sort of stuff. And then you build the bonds with the people around you, and you grow so much as a person that a lot of people don't. First off, I mean, I don't know where I would be without football. I love football. I love
100%.
sports in general.
100%.
But yeah, you grow so much as a person, and just like it changes who you are, but like for the good. I don't know.
No, I think it's a good thing. I think it, for me, a lot of people talk about the structure and the rhythm. It definitely did not impart that in me. I wish it did. But like the just like the bonding piece, I think is huge, but then just the leadership skill in general. And when you think about, I hate to say this, but we were kind of talking about Twitch and we kind of started with Fortnite. I can remember looking back to my beginnings on Twitch, which were also Fortnite, and like the amount of children, and that's not, no offense to anybody, but just the amount of kids that would come through, and like you'd have people that are like, hey, can you help me talk to this person or this shit? And it's like, man, I don't want to do that. But I think people end up kind of looking up to you as a leader, and it's a great talking point. So I think it's something that has impacted my Twitch career in a way that I didn't really think it would. And I just think it's interesting. I definitely think it's interesting. Username popped in my mind when you said Fortnite and children. We all have that mindset.
Yeah, I think in terms of the leadership aspect too, and like there's on the football team, and especially in college, I don't know what it was for you, but there's like 130, 120 some guys on the team. Yep. And you make bonds with pretty much everybody on the team. And so like, but everybody's a little bit different. You have different ways of talking to everybody. Mm-hmm. And so that also, I think, kind of helps in terms of, I never really thought of this until literally now, but kind of helps in terms of like talking to viewers and like trying to get people active or just like meeting new people in general. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
And for the record, I think I streamed Fortnite maybe like 2 or 3 times, and then Apex came out. For the record.
So how long have you been streaming on Twitch? I think that's a great follow-up here.
January 28th of 2019 was my first stream, so you can figure out the rest.
Okay, so a year and a couple months.
Yeah, so then literally I think a week and a half later Apex came out, and I started streaming Apex a ton. So I think probably like 2 weeks into my streaming career is when Apex came out, and that's kind of been the main game on the channel for some time. So not in your list of questions, so I hope you're prepared. There's no contract signed that says I can't ask him anything else. I'm going to. I mean, I want to talk about whatever weird streaming group that we've all kind of become. Yeah. But specifically, like, I like to link that back to Toast, and Toast doesn't like when I do that. But for me, it is though. It is for me. Like Motive brought me to Toast. Motive's like, hey, I got a buddy who wants to play Fortnite. You should teach him.
Toast was complete garbage, and I mean that with everything in me. Like I had an entire
God, I hope he's in
stream.
chat.
I had
That'd
an
be so funny.
entire stream of just teaching Toast in playgrounds how to build. But like for me, it was Motive brought me to Toast. So how did you end up in this connection?
Apex actually. So I was streaming. It was about a year ago. And I was just doing random Apex pub games. And I was solo queuing, and back then they only had trios, so I was solo queuing into trios, and I had at the time I had like TV in my username.
Haha, one of those guys.
And
that makes sense.
And yeah, I had to find a place to grow somehow, though, you know, man. So I think we were in the dropship. We're flying over, as people in chat may or not know about Apex. We're flying over the island, and in the text chat, you can message your team in the game, and in the chat it said, "Oh, I'm from Wisconsin too." And I was like, "What?" Like I didn't say anything in game. I didn't type anything. It's just I'm from Wisconsin too, like smile or something like that. And I was like, how do you know I'm from Wisconsin? And he goes, your Twitch channel, you idiot, or something like that. And so he saw the TV and he went to Twitch, and I was streaming at the time too. And so he saw my bio and it said I was from Wisconsin and all that sort of stuff. And I don't even know how the game went. He was playing with Bromaniacs.
Yep.
So that's how I met them at the same time. And I don't know if we won or did well, but we played a few. They invited me back. We played a few more games. That's kind of how I met Toast. That was about a year ago. It was I believe it was right after his son was born, because he wasn't streaming at the time. But we kind of bonded about Twitch and gaming and all that sort of stuff. A few months go by actually, and I would play with Toast here and there. We weren't as close as we are now. But I actually found I said this maybe like a week ago on stream, but I found actually your Discord masked through another streamer who tweeted, this was probably in the fall of this past year, that him as well as you were going to start hosting Apex like small content creator tournaments or something like that. I'm trying to remember this correctly. And like joined my Discord or Massup's Discord. So that's when I joined your Discord like months before I actually knew you, to be honest. But then I'm trying to see what was next after that. So I played with Toast on and off for a long time. And then we played a night of Apex with DK.
Yep.
And then I popped into DK's stream one time, and pretty much from there, like, kind of just evolved to everybody, you, Motive, and John. And that's pretty much how it worked. It's so random, because I literally just a random game of Apex, and I've been introduced to so many people that I consider friends, which is crazy.
Yeah, those Apex tournaments never panned out. So we were trying to, so like I tried out for 100 Thieves, and when Apex first launched, and played with the 100 Thieves guys like on and off stream. They were like, yeah, we're not gonna have any streaming. So I played with those guys, and then played with NRG, and it was like, no, you're good, just keep grinding, and like so I never really got anywhere. And then Gnarly, who I know that you probably don't know, and myself were like trying to push into the comp scene. We played in some small tournament things, and then ended up picking up some random people through the internet, that nightmare gaming nonsense. And so Toast got really fucking mad at me, and he'll never tell you this, but like he couldn't play because he didn't want to play because in my opinion, he did have the kid on the way, and I think he was afraid to commit. And at that point in time, Toast was still garbage, and still is. I love you, Toast. This is a roast session of Toast tonight. No, but like Toast and I would go on like 20, 25 game win streaks. So like my first interaction with you was in Toast's stream. You were playing Apex with him, and I'm like, oh, I've been replaced because you were playing Wraith. And I'm like, I see how this is. Like, I see. And so then I was like, Captainbigtuna. Like, and so the name looked familiar because my Discord had kind of grown immensely. But until you just said that, it makes absolute sense. We were trying to do some small streamer tournaments because we had I had personally had a ton of success doing small content creator tournaments for Fortnite. Like that's kind of how I grew. And I would do a Friday night Fortnite tournament for small streamers, and it turned into like 30 or 40 teams every week. And I wanted to do the same thing, but I couldn't quite ever piece it together. And then, yeah, we won't get into my streaming path. This isn't a podcast about Shane, but that is actually extremely unique and kind of funny. And then speaking of DK, I don't know if anybody else views him this way, but I feel like DK is like the godfather of our streaming group. And like, we all just kind of look at DK like maybe DK will play with me soon. Like, maybe DK will host me tonight.
He's like our dad.
Like, can DK like, hey DK, can you host me one time? Like, and so, like, you know, I have a ton of playing time with DK, mostly because of EFT, and I think that DK only likes me when I play the EFT, and that's not true. I don't mean that, but it is really interesting because like DK, John, and Toast is its own, like they know each other personally.
Yeah,
and I'm really thankful for them because, like at this point, I know you're very similar. Like I have mods and I have other people that I game with, like my brother's in chat right now and Chari. But like we all game with each other pretty much every night in some capacity. And so I just appreciate that group of people for putting
sure.
whatever the hell you guys watch every night together, because I appreciate it. So
it is it's pretty crazy because like you said, I have like my best friends from back home that are gaming right now actually. But like I game with them all the time too. I'll bring in my buddies like when I'm playing even with you guys, like we kind of like cross paths a little bit and stuff like that. But yeah, it is interesting. Even like Face Shot, who's often I play games with, whether it's on Apex or like Call of Duty or whatever random game we're playing. I met him through a random game of Apex as well, and it was very similar interaction actually the way I met Toast. But like, it's crazy, and then you have like the whole that whole aspect, and I literally am. It kind of got like thrusted into it because like I knew Toast for a long time. We would play games here and there. I don't even remember how because we didn't play nearly as often as we did. Like as often as we do now, we didn't play that much before, obviously. I'm trying to remember exactly how we started playing more games and stuff like that together. But yeah, once that started happening, and then it's just kind of spiderwebbed. It was crazy.
yeah, so Faye is actually subscribed to a guy that's in my wedding, or was going to be in my wedding, on Twitch.
Wait,
and we did not know that directly. So Matney, who I think you've played with Matney, or at least know Matney, and we've talked before. Matney's who got me into streaming. And so I know this guy IRL through work, through a job in Virginia, and now I live in Memphis. And so Matney and I work together, and Matney's like, hey man, you should start streaming. I'm going to start. We can start together. Cool. And then one day I was in Matney's chat like last week, and I see Faye, and I'm like, wait, what? And so like I asked him, well, you're playing Pummel Party. I'm like, how do you know Matney? And he was like, yeah, I've known Matney for like a year. And I'm like, what? Like, so it's just strange to me how those connections happen sometimes. But
yeah, I've had those connections happen a lot too. So shortly after I met Toast, I was in another one of somebody I met randomly through Apex or through Twitch or both. He was streaming. I was just hanging out in his chat. He's a nice dude. And I was messaging in there, and then Toast started messaging. And so we started messaging at each other. We're like, what? Like, how do you know of each other? Like, oh, just like through Apex. So it's like, Twitch is it's crazy how big Twitch is, but like how small it is at the same time, you know? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Paths across all the time.
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, for me, as I'm going to go to that third question. I think we've talked about, you know, what keeps you going. And for me, I think it's very similar, like the community aspect. But I think that, you know, when you think about like challenges with Twitch, for me personally, like one of my biggest challenges was just networking. And Twitch makes it easy if you make it easy, but you have to really dedicate yourself to it. So I don't know what's happening in my chat. I keep having things popping up in my headset, but I'm like getting distracted. I guess ultimately, like, what do you think was your biggest challenge getting yourself going from a content creation standpoint? And that didn't sound like I was going to end that question, but I'm ending that question. What's your biggest challenge getting started?
Like, what the hell am I doing? Like,
yeah.
Okay, everyone's like, oh, you need to have a Twitter, you need to put out clips, you need to make YouTube stuff. I'm like, okay, like,
yeah, but you're really good at that. Like your Instagram. Also, I hope you appreciate the picture I stole from your Instagram.
it took a long time to figure out kind of my niche or like what I wanted to do, because I'm like, I don't know. I didn't have software to make clips. So I had to get that. I didn't have like there's obviously the tough parts are like, I don't have things. But then from there, it's like, what do I make content about? Because I'll be the first to say it. I'm not that good at video games.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Breaking news. But I can play pretty well. I can make some plays. I can hang around a little bit. I'm pretty mid tier. So like, I'm not gonna make it as just being like, wow, look how good this guy is at whatever game. Sure. So I'm like, okay, I need to make it more about me, which is when I started branding it about me. And then like, you see a lot in my clips, I'll zoom in on my face, or like my reactions, or like things that are said. And then now with okay, first off, Toast makes it so easy to make clips because the man is just absurd.
Gold. Content gold. Content gold mine, dude. Like,
right. And so like the hardest part definitely was just like, what am I doing? What do I make content about? What am I like? What's my niche? That sort of stuff by far. And then like before, like I've done on Apex for YouTube. When I first started doing YouTube videos, I think my first YouTube video was like a Fortnite mashup. And then, hey, we're not talking about it, okay? I actually think I deleted it.
Oh, I was getting ready to go hunt it down, and I may.
I think I deleted it.
May still.
It might still be out there. I don't know. And then I got into Apex. I'm like, okay, how do I make stuff about Apex? So I started doing like news things about Apex and like leaks and all that sort of stuff. And then I started doing tutorial stuff. And then I kind of like fell off a little bit on YouTube, getting back into it. And I started doing more tutorial stuff. And now I'm kind of doing like the comedy, tutorial, storyline aspect things. So I've kind of hopped around a lot and just like figuring out what kind of you have my YouTube channel up. I can see this.
You don't have it here, and I'm slightly disappointed.
They're gone. You see, you can figure out when I started to learn how to make thumbnails and how progressively awful they were.
Dude, they're so good though. It looks so good.
And then DK taught me how to make thumbnails.
Yeah, but like if you go to my YouTube, it's like, hey, here's some fucking Apex highlights. Have fun. So no, this is amazing.
But yeah, as far as my goals, personal goals in 2020 and content is YouTube and trying to be more consistent with that. I was good at the start. I've kind of fallen off a little bit, and I'm trying to get more back into it. But that's definitely the most challenging part for me right now is making content on YouTube that is good and discoverable and that sort of stuff. So that's the challenging part now.
I think that, I would argue that most of us, that's our challenge, like small streamers. And I say us like that, making content that's discoverable, enjoyable, palatable in the right time size, and then understanding how all of these social media algorithms work. I think that a lot of people that view Twitch chats don't understand that, like, it's not as easy as just crank out a video and post it. Like, understanding your time and your niche and what you've built. And like, so for me, I would love to stream earlier, but I've built myself as kind of a late night, like evening streamer. And so like, how do I post that content? And I've noticed that if I post an Instagram post or a clip at 10 a.m., I get nothing, like literally nothing. But if I post it at 2 a.m. after my stream, it's like it goes crazy. And so, like understanding those things is huge. But then for us, and this is just in general, like for us as small streamers, like we appreciate when you guys just watch those things or view those things.
Oh yeah, by far.
Because and I know you may not think that, but like the difference between 27 views and 50 views on YouTube for me is huge, and I would assume it's the same for Tuna. Like it's massive. Absolutely. Because it tells me that like, okay, this was enjoyable. Now I need to go back and make more of this. If you enjoy something, if you enjoy something and you don't let me know that as a content creator, I'm probably not making it again. Especially if nobody else says that, right? So like I think the one thing that I appreciate about Tuna chat is like he's got a drive and he's on a schedule for those YouTube videos and content creation, and like you can bank on having really strong content every day or every week, and whenever you watch a Tuna video, it's A, it's going to be pieced together nicely, and B, he's got an enjoyable, palatable voice. And so like those things, I enjoy watching those videos. So
I appreciate that, man.
You know, I think creating that content, man, you're just good at it. Like, I think that that's the one thing that I wish that I was good at, was like the ability to understand how to even conceptualize a video, because I struggle with that every day, like every day.
I mean, I still struggle. I have full-fledged videos like 80-90% done, and then I go back and look at it, I'm like, wow, this is shit. And then I never end up posting it. Or like who knows, countless amounts of clips that I've clipped up and like tried to edit a little bit and throw a little something on it, and it's like, wow, I don't like this. And so like that's like definitely the biggest part with content creation is like, you need, first off, it takes a lot of time. Like those YouTube videos and stuff like that, they take so long to
100%.
make.
Yep.
Even if it's just like you're clipping up some things, throwing some text on it, and like, oh, this is a nice video, like, but like, yeah, this took me, you know, like 12 hours to make. And it's something that I'm always like really proud of when I'm done with, which is what I really actually enjoy about it. Content creation is every time I can like kind of put out a piece of content, or whether it's a clip or like a stream or a video, I just like, wow, like I made this. This is me. This is my community. Like, this is cool. I like this. And so it's something to be proud of for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the YouTube is hard. Making videos is hard.
Yeah.
And so anybody who I think can put out even just any kind of videos it's difficult, man. Especially it's like small time, like you, me, most people we know. We have full-time jobs to do too. We have families, we have relationships, we have like we have a whole life outside of streaming and content creation that we still have to do. And then like, oh, you want to grow on Twitch? Oh, you need to make YouTube videos, you need to make clips, you need to do all this sort of stuff. So a lot of work. A lot of people don't see.
It's a whole lot of work. And
yeah.
It's funny. So I was cleaning out a hard drive, so like unrelated in any capacity. Obviously, I'm building a new stream PC. But I was cleaning out a hard drive. I was like, I probably should see what all I've got. Dude, I had 742 gigs of Fortnite footage that's never been posted to the internet.
Yep.
742 gigs.
That's a lot.
Dude, I can make a Fortnite movie. like there's so much content. And so like, think about how often we stream. Like, those things don't make it. So it is such a time commitment, man. And for me personally, it's the mindset of like, nobody's going to watch this, so I'm not going to make it. Like, that's my challenge, is like, I am my worst critic, and I'm like, I'm not. Nobody wants to watch that. Like, there's a million people out there with Valorant aces. Like, nobody's going to watch that. Or a million people have done, this is the best gun in H1Z1. So, like, nobody's going to watch it. And so I struggle with that personally. And so I feel you.
Yeah, it's I had something I was going to say, and I forgot. Oh, man. I'm actually surprised it's the first time this has happened. This happens to me very often.
Well, so it's not like we're on a podcast where we can talk about it at any point that you'd like. So
I've thought of it again. So like the hardest thing, another really challenging thing that you kind of balance with is, the content you make, it like, you want to be discovered ultimately. Like, we're the people who are super serious about this, which I think a lot of us that we stream with and play with are.
Yep.
The content you make, a lot of us play, say, like Valorant, which is a pretty saturated game. You hear the word saturated a lot and discoverable a lot. And so it's like, well, you need to make content that you like, that you've personally like, I enjoyed this content, I made this, I like this.
Yep.
And you also need to make content that's like, hey, somebody can find this. And there's a very difficult balance between that, that not a lot of people understand.
Yeah.
And so like, with like the tutorial videos and stuff like that I would do, it was more so like, this is a little bit more discoverable. I enjoy it, but it's nothing crazy. Like, I would rather make what my last couple of videos have been about. I'd rather make that stuff. It's a little less discoverable, but I actually really enjoy it. So it's kind of like, you have to weigh the balance. There's like a balancing act between that too. Like you're saying, like, there's a million types of different contents out there, and it's tough, man.
It's frustrating, I think,
for sure,
because like, I think, and I do think this is unique between, and I still come back to me, you, and Toast, and because we are your off-brand Lupo, Tim, and Ninja, you know, like, we all three create such different content too. Like, I don't talk a whole lot when I game. Like, I just don't. Like, if I'm gaming by myself, or if I'm off stream gaming, like, I'm probably gonna say 5 words to somebody, and that's not against anything. It's just I kind of game for the competitive side of it. Like I enjoy that side.
Like you're by far like the best. You almost won pro in Apex. Like you were with 100 Thieves and like energy, like the top of the line gaming orgs. Like that's kind of you're good at gaming.
It's my
like,
niche. The problem becomes for me, it's like, dude, nobody watches this dude with 1,700 followers and 7 viewers on Twitch, right? Like, so like for me, that's the frustration is like, I can't just put out gameplay. Like I'm not Dizzy. Like you can't just put out gameplay and not have a face cam or anything and drop a 20 bomb. And then people are like, oh shit, Dizzy's videos got 5 million views. Like, so for me, it is frustrating. And I do think that you tailor those really well. So there's a back-ended compliment here, which is you tailor content well. And I think you're good at it. So that's awesome. So I do want to get on this next question, and I don't know that we may have answered it, but I think that this is the biggest question that anybody that's streaming for over a year, like, I love this question, which is, what would you do differently now, knowing what you know on Twitch and about Twitch and the internet, if you started streaming today versus when you started a year ago? What would you do differently?
I'm trying to really remember the types of content I would put out as far as clips and stuff like that, but I think I would do a lot different things with that in terms of just like the clips I'm putting on Twitter and YouTube videos and that sort of stuff. I would, one big thing that I've been talking about it for the last like 2 weeks on my stream. I would probably rebrand myself a little bit differently.
That's Admiral Medium Fish. I got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. But that's neither here nor there. That's not the big thing. That's really not that big of a deal. But I guess it would just be, if I were to, what I've done differently in the beginning would have been just the types of content that I'm putting out would be more so like I am today, not just, at first I didn't really know what I was doing as far as like, I'm like, oh, this is a cool, look at this squad wipe in Apex, or look at these snipes in Fortnite and that sort of stuff. And it's just like, I went back, I've gone back and looked at like my old content. I'm like, wow, this isn't very good.
I'm a loser.
so that kind of thing, the way I talk to chat and the way I kind of present myself has changed dramatically since when I first started. I'm more engaging. I'm not necessarily louder, but before, when I had like chat, I didn't really know what to say in front of chat. I couldn't carry a conversation with chat, so that's something I had to learn over time. But like I kind of know those skills now a little bit better, I think, and so like that stuff would be a lot bigger at the start as well. Their social skills.
I talk better. So exactly. You know, I think that I want to talk about this rebrand. So you're Tuna. And like, if you're going to rebrand, you can rebrand right now. You could do it. But you're going to get the same reaction that Motive got. You remember Motive's name change?
I do remember that.
Which is your Tuna. And so you've got to incorporate it.
That's what I've been thinking too, but like I kind of have an idea of how I want to do it. Motive says he's leaving. But that's the thing too, is like I was talking with one of my mods about this earlier, and they're like, well, what if people still call you Tuna? You're gonna like get upset? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like, I know a lot of people know me as Tuna. I want to rebrand around me, my first name being Chance, which I think is a very unique first name. But I'm still going to incorporate a lot of the things that is already there within the community. I'm still going to have like kind of, I'm not going to, the Tuna emotes aren't going anywhere. They're staying.
So you've already got to rebrand. You're past the conception stage.
I have a pretty strong idea that I'm like 95%. I'm going to do it. But that being said, yeah, like the Tuna name may drop, but it doesn't mean it's still not a part of me, part of who I am. It's obviously part of the past, but it's part of like how the reason that I'm here. And so if we're playing games and you say Tuna instead of Chance, I'm not going to be like, oh, I rebranded. How dare you? Like,
I mean, Chance the Tuna is still an option. I don't know where you're at with
Tuna is an option, and that's one I've considered. But I'm not a big fan of the part.
No, I'm not either.
I'm not
either.
And every other way with Chance and Tuna just doesn't work. I think someone in my chat one time said, Rainy with a chance of tunas or something like that.
I would support that because I don't think it would fit on Twitch.
100%.
I'm about that. Will always be Tuna to me. Yeah, I think a rebrand's tough.
I think so too.
There's a person that I follow on Twitch, and I won't name drop them. And they are bigger than me. They're a larger streamer than myself. They have name changed 4 times on Twitch in the past memorable 6 to 8 months.
Wow.
And Tuna, all right. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't read that. And so it's really interesting to me because every time they reset, they're like on Twitter and on Instagram and like, hey, I've changed. And I watched this one particular person go from averaging like 50 to 60 viewers a night to like 3 to 4 at this point in time. And it's like the rebrand can be tough because I don't think that any of us really recognize that there are a bunch of people that come to your stream that don't follow your channel, that look you up every night, that don't speak. And when you change names, now you're gone. And so I think that that's the hardest part for me is like, there are a lot of things that I would love to do differently with my brand. I still don't know what that would be. But like every day I look at my overlays or things on my stream and I'm like, God, I want to change this. I want a new one. I want this and that. And I've personally pumped the brakes on it because I think eventually you get known as the name. So I think you're in the sweet spot. I've been streaming about 1.5 years longer than you.
Yeah.
And I think that part of me is like, I'm too far in.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, if I am to follow through with this, which I've been thinking about for a while, so I'm pretty much dead set on doing a change. It's gonna be like a permanent thing. Like, yeah, this is it. This is the change right here. Versus like in if I were to do it in a year or so, and then I
a big
have
impact,
more followers, more
yeah,
subs
it's a
on
big
YouTube,
impact,
whatever it is, then it's like it's a little bit difficult, a little bit different, a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But I've talked about a lot with my community too, which I think has helped. I'm not just like kind of dropping it on them. I've had a lot of input from them. There was a whole stream we did where we tried to come up with my new names, and it turned into me being called like Captain Big Chungus or something like that. Was one of the options. But yeah, I think with the new brand, I myself recognize with it a little bit more, but it's still like Tuna, like that's kind of why I want to keep the Tuna emotes, and I'm going to change my logo, but the Tuna persona is still obviously going to be there within the emotes and within like some of the other alerts and things like that that we're talking about. And so if somebody calls me Tuna, it's not a big deal. And just is the same as now if somebody comes to my stream and calls me Chance, it's not that big of a deal. So
I get that.
And also if you look up Captainbigtuna on YouTube, you get a lot of clips from Wicked Tuna, the TV show, and that doesn't really help with discoverability.
So you're a big fan of Wicked Tuna. I hear it.
It is a good show. It's a very good show if you're interested, if you like tuna. But
I mean, Tuna's acceptable.
Another big thing of it for me too is the discoverability of that name versus the options that I have for the rebrand. I think are a little bit better. It'll be a little bit different adjusting for me personally, just having people, whether it's in chat or whatever, say Chance instead of Tuna. But a lot like in the long run, the people who are there, super involved in the community, they're gonna be there.
Yeah, I think that
4 times in 6 to 8 months is a lot.
It's too much.
That's a ton. I've recently found this guy that I followed a while ago. It's very similar. I don't know. Maybe it's the same person. I don't know if it is, but they have changed their name at least 2 times in the last 6 months. And because I would follow him on Twitter, and this new name pops, I'm like, who is this? Then I go and I look. I'm like, oh, this guy used to be called so and so. But then they would go back and they would like delete everything. They're like starting over.
Yep.
So it's definitely not starting over. It's just kind of a new corner. That's not the word I'm looking for.
I'll tell you the most awkward time for me with a stream name is like it masked up on the internet. You're like, okay, cool. That's cool. I'm cool with that. I'm whatever. People call me Masked or Shane, whatever. Toast calls me Daddy. I mean, whatever you really want to call me is fine. Dude, I personally am roasting Toast tonight. But the most awkward time in the world is like when you go to a TwitchCon and you're going to warm-ups at Twitch Rivals, and some dude who says your name with no enthusiasm's like, "Masked up, please step forward," and you're like, "Oh God, that's me." And it's super awkward. So I think having that buy-in on your own brand, in the long run, because Tuna's going to be partnered next year, is a good thing. So
I think so too, and that's part of it too. Is like, I know people like at my work, like my IRL job, they found out that I streamed, and they're like, "Oh, it's pretty cool. Like, what's your Twitch name?"
dude, it's so awkward. That's so fucking awkward.
And they all just like laugh. I'm like, okay, take it easy, guys.
Yeah,
it was like a joke with the people that I work with. So,
oh, what's up, Captainbigtuna? Yeah,
pretty
dude.
much, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. I feel you on that. And so now, specifically with me, with the COVID stuff, and like, you know, obviously I've been working. I have not been working from home. I've been working. Like every now and then, like, oh, put a mask on, masked up, and you're like, all right, dude. Like, why don't you just you're my employee. Go do something. So I feel you.
That's the big thing with the brand changes. It's the Captainbigtuna thing. The way it even came about, if people were interested,
I absolutely am.
I get asked about it. It's nothing special, but I get asked about it all the time when I'm in my stream. Like, oh, how'd you get the name? When I said I took the kind of hiatus from gaming, and then I came back, I got an Xbox, and when you create an Xbox
oh no,
Live user,
Tuna. Oh no.
You create an Xbox Live user, and it gives you a random name. The random name they gave me was Captain Tuna with like some numbers. Like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then I was really into The Office at that point.
That's where I thought we were going here. A little John Krasinski. I like it.
That's where it's going. Hey, you're right. But I was like, oh, Captain Tuna. Like, that's kind of funny. I'm like, what about Captainbigtuna? Because I was thinking like Big Tuna from The Office. And I was trying to be funny. And I don't know. And that's what happened. So that's what my name was on Xbox.
Didn't want to go with big haircut?
21 years old.
Big haircut was an option there, man. You could have taken it.
Big haircut. Yes, exactly.
Big haircut.
But yeah, that's and like the origin story of the name is like, it's kind of weird. I don't know, but people always ask me that too, and it's nothing special. So it's like, it's not like a sentimental name. It's just like a name that I had. It was my name for all of my users, for every game that I had when I started going to PC, and then it was my Twitch username for the longest time. And so like when I just started streaming, I'm like, yeah, this is my account, Captainbigtuna. Like, this is me.
Yeah.
So that's just
kind of crazy how much you get the name question from Twitch chat, right? Like, especially newish viewers. Like, not normally like the first follow and like that first day, but if somebody returns for 2 or 3 streams, like stream 4 of them returning is like, hey, how'd you come up with your name? And you're like, oh, this is super awkward. Like,
very accurate timeline.
It's like, okay. Like, this is strange. And so that explanation, it happens a ton.
Yep. There was a viewer that I was playing with, and they have been in the stream. They've been popping in and out of the streams for around a month or so. They kind of migrated over from another streamer that I watch a lot and play games with a lot. And I was actually ended up playing games with them a little bit the other night, and they asked me about the same thing. And then they're like, well, that wasn't as exciting of a story as I thought it would be. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's not.
No, yeah, it is. It's one of those moments where it's like, I don't have a cool story for you. It just kind of happened.
Yep.
So I get it. So I know that, and so Chad, I'm just going to tell you guys, I hit Tuna with, is content creation an art form, as one of the questions I was going to ask him. I don't necessarily want to go down that path, because I think the obvious answer is yes. Like, it's a performance. We put on a show in some capacity, no matter the day that we're having. People that take streaming seriously, like, we come and we try and be our best for you. It's not always perfect, but anybody that gets in front of a camera 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week for 4 to 8 hours at a time and is like trying to engage and trying to have fun, like, it is an art. And very rarely does anybody ask, like, hey, how are you doing today, right? Like, we're in here trying to pump you guys up. So I think that question's an easy question, but I don't necessarily want to go down that path. I guess the ultimate question I have for Captainbigtuna X, whatever your new name is going to be, the streamer formerly known as Captainbigtuna, like, what's your goal? Like, give me where Tuna is 5 years from now if everything works out perfectly in your brain.
Oh my God. This is a very interesting topic, because so many people on Twitch, and like we all have the goals of being the big streamer on the platform and making this a living, because who wouldn't want to stream every day and for a living and support their family and their loved ones by doing something that they really enjoy. And so this question is very difficult for me because my IRL job, I'm a software developer. I've been doing it since I graduated college a year and a half ago, and I love that job too. I could do that job for the rest of my life. So it's a very difficult thing for me to decide if, like, would you want to do your IRL job or would you want to do content creation? It's like, well, am I doing content creation as like the largest possible scale, or am I doing like content creation at the same scale as my job? In terms of maybe you want to like medium scale, medium large, like I don't really know exactly how big viewership and stuff has to be.
Let's just call it the monetary standpoint. Like nobody, you feel awkward saying that on stream, but it's the reality. Is like, am I making the same money? Am I making more? So I'm with you. Okay.
And that's not necessarily like that. I don't think that should be the factor for somebody. For a lot of people, maybe, but like, I love my job. I love streaming. If I had to pick, I really don't know. It may come down to, can I support my family streaming? Because obviously when you're a streamer, you don't get benefits like you get from your job, like healthcare and all that sort of stuff, which is a lot of things that people sometimes forget about.
Yep.
So like you have to actually, like, technically you should be making more money before you quit your job to start streaming, because you have to pay for more insurance and stuff like that. But in the perfect world, I think I would pick, if I had the option to, if it got to that point, I would pick content creation, just because it's so much fun. I have a blast each and every day that I stream, and I hate editing videos, but at some point, if I got big enough, I wouldn't have to do that anymore. So you pay somebody else to do it for you.
Yep.
But you have to put the work in to get that far anyway. But
I think the thing that people don't consider in this question, and it's the hardest part for me to wrap my brain around over the past. So when I came back from TwitchCon, I was super energized. I'm like, dude, fuck it. I'm going all in on Twitch. Like, I want to do this. I enjoy the community, the company. When you get to interact with people that work at Twitch or for Twitch, like, they're so bought into you as a streamer. And I get that, like, it's TwitchCon and they have to be, right? But it's like, I walked away from TwitchCon like, okay, I actually want to do this. But I think the part that I've yet to really wrap my brain around is that question is posed, okay, assuming that I'm big enough to make enough money to cover my bills, yeah, absolutely, I would content create. But once you get that large, content creation changes. You lose the interactive piece. Like, I know we all feel like you won't.
No, yeah, you're
right. But you lose it. Like, I can't sit here and laugh at Kev's iPod, Deets. Thank you for the follow, by the way. I don't like calling things out in the middle of this, but here we go. I'm taking my chance. Like, you lose that interaction because your chat's moving. You've got mods that are really handling everything. And I think that part for me is the hardest part of that question, because I feel like I would lose my community engagement.
Yeah, that's what's. I know there's a lot of even people who aren't streamers, but they're just straight up viewers, and they like to hang out in smaller streamers because they like that community aspect. And like, well, if that streamer gets big and they have a couple hundred or 1,000 viewers, they're not going to be able to interact with them as much. So you're right, it does become different. That becomes more so putting on a show. Like, for example, like for a very drastic example, like Dr. Disrespect literally puts on a show. He puts on his whole persona and that sort of stuff. But then you have streamers that I think you can still make that community aspect work. It just takes it's a really hard balance of it. I think it becomes more so like, I have to put in time for my community, and then there's time into the content versus like, which I think what's amazing about just chatting. It's probably my favorite part of my stream, by the way, is when I do just chatting. For apparently, I'm a just chatting streamer now, according to Toast. But that's my favorite part, is because I get to talk to chat and do all that sort of stuff. And you see these bigger streamers that do that. For example, like Tim the Tatman, or like XQC, or I'm trying to think of some more off the top.
Did we just compare Tim the Tatman and XQC?
Well, they do like the whole. They have a. I think personally, because they do like the just chatting stuff. They have a more tight knit community, a more community identity of the larger streamers than you see from compared to other larger streamers.
XQC's community is nothing but toxicity. That's their tight identity.
It's a lot of memes. It's a lot of memes. I was just throwing it. To be honest, I saw it because it was something I was watching.
I'm giving
earlier.
you a hard time. It's okay.
But I agree. Yeah, you lose that community aspect of it for sure. And then it becomes like, all right, I have to make good content that's other people are gonna also enjoy, which obviously if you're at that point, people are enjoying it. But yeah, it definitely becomes different. I never really thought of that actually.
That's the hardest part for me to maybe palate is like my goal is partner 2020. It's not going to happen, and I understand that. But like, I want to continue to refine my content this year to present myself next year in a way that's just better. And I think that'll always be that way. I'm always going to want to be better, but like that's a huge challenge for me right now. Is like, how do I continue to engage my community in a way that I can slow down and just have that conversation, or get to know people, or make sure that people are aware of what's coming up and events and those pieces. So I think that question is the hardest question, and the question that you get asked the most when somebody asks you seriously, like, what would you do? Right? Like, I get that question a lot from somebody when they're like, okay, so you're going to take streaming seriously, like my parents, and like trying to explain that to my family. Is it's one of those questions. Okay, well, are you going to stream for real? And it's not the money side of it. Like those questions come too, but like, what would you do if is a tough question. So, chat.
And to me, like the whole, what would you do if, it's like, well, first you got to get there, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
You got to put the work in order to even have that if be an option.
Yep.
And so like, once that option comes, once I actually can possibly make that decision, then it's like, okay, then I will make that decision. As for now, I love content creation. I love streaming. I'm going to keep putting my all into it, and whatever happens, you know?
Respect that.
That's kind of the way I see it.
Respect it. So I don't really have a ton of like follow-ups, but I would love to open up to some chat questions if you're okay with that.
Yeah,
and there've been a ton. So if I missed your questions, chat, I apologize. The way that I'm trying to frame this up is a lot of conversation with me and Tuna, or whoever my guest is on the podcast. And so thank you for being my second guinea pig, Tuna.
Dude, no worries.
I'm sure that we will do this again.
I said this earlier too before we started it up, but I've always wanted to do a podcast. I think they're really cool. I love listening to podcasts, and it's cool just to like, I don't know, you're introducing your audience to another streamer, another content creator, and it's like, it's a cool idea.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I think the thing that I appreciate most about podcasts, like my fiance Ashley, I don't know if you're in chat, she likes to creep. She listens to like a lot of murder podcasts, and it concerns me because we're getting married, first of all. So like I'm just gonna keep it real, but like I don't mind the structured like X, Y, and Z. Here's what we're gonna talk about, but like when I think about what's been most enjoyable for us streaming all together, it's kind of just the random sporadic, where's this conversation gonna go? And to be blunt with you, like I enjoy asking the questions and kind of framing those things up, but I don't know where it's going to go, and I want to keep it that way.
Yeah, I loved it. I love it. The whole.
I think it's kind of fun. I think it's kind of fun.
Yes, for sure.
But yes, listens to podcasts about husbands who disappear. Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing. Yep, that's literally me. But before we get to chat questions, there's one question we have to answer, and we get to thank Chari Slims, and I haven't seen Chari in chat, but are bananas and plantains the same thing?
What the hell is a plantain?
Okay, yep. So no, they're not. There you go. That's all we need.
I'm gonna Google it. I don't know how to spell it.
Plantain. Ashley equals Carol Baskins.
That looks like a banana to me.
Bro, right? So my dude's calling them cooking bananas, and I'm a little disappointed in Google right now because Google has them listed from their Wikipedia page as cooking bananas. So plantains, man, are like, you ever been to like a Brazilian steakhouse, Tuna?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So like, I don't even want to. I'm going to say South American culture, you'll often find plantains that are kind of like fried, like either pan fried or deep fried, and they're kind of sweet. They've got like a cinnamon or like a caramelization on them.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. I'm sure there are other ways to eat plantains, but they're like really big green bananas. Like that's my description. I'm gonna give you really big.
I mean, I guess the way for me to properly answer this question is I would need to eat one.
I feel
Because
like
by the looks of it, it looks like a banana. And if it looks like a banana and it tastes like a banana, then it's banana.
I don't think they taste like bananas though. I think that's the caveat is like I don't know that people just grab a plantain like off of a plantain tree and just
Like,
eat it.
peel it and
Yeah,
eat
I don't think you can do that. Maybe you can. I don't. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm just uninformed. I'm an uninformed zoomer over here.
Are you really Gen Z?
I don't know. I'm on the border. I think 96 is the cutoff. That's when I was born. I really don't know.
I don't know either. Won't taste like a banana. Chat says won't taste like a banana.
Me a boomer and a zoomer at the same time, so you figure that one out.
AMA. All right, chat. Let's go. Bring them on. Bring me the questions.
So they're talking a lot about plantains now.
Yeah, I kind of opened that door. I don't really know that that's where it was going to go. Okay, so what show are you watching right now on Netflix or Hulu or streaming service?
I just finished Breaking Bad.
Not watched it. Never watched it.
It is one of my favorite shows I've ever watched my entire life. The writing, the acting, the cinematography, it is beautiful. It's a great piece of work, a piece of art. It also is super long. It's gonna be months to finish. So I have not actually started watching anything yet. I need to. I'm not watching Tiger King. I'm not watching that shit.
I respect that.
I've been looking at watching Ozark.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Things.
I've seen the picture on my screen when I'm scrolling to find The Office. Like
Ozark looks interesting. All right, trying to start The Office for the 7th time.
Yep. No, my problem is like I dedicate so much time to streaming that it actually impedes on like me sitting down and watching a show. Or
yeah, 100%. I that's why it took me so long to finish Breaking Bad. I started Breaking Bad like I think in like November.
Oh God. So like I've watched the 100. I'm caught up on that.
I watched the first 2 seasons of that and I enjoyed it. But I had this issue with TV shows, especially when I watch them on Netflix, is I watched like the first 2 seasons of the 100. And then the 3rd season comes out, but by then I'm already watching something else, or I moved on, and I never make my way back to watching it again.
I was a big fan, and I'm having that problem with it. Is like I watch every season as it comes out in like a 48-hour window, and with Ashley, with my fiance, and then it's like a year and a half later, it's like, oh, season 7's out. Maybe we should watch that. So I feel that pain.
Is there really that many seasons?
Well, there's 6 seasons right now, and season 7 is on live TV, or maybe it just ended.
God.
And it's really good. It takes a weird turn,
watch that more.
But it's really good.
The way the direction that show was going, like, how in the world are they making so many seasons out of it?
It gets kind of crazy. It gets kind of out there. But I think that they did a really good job so far. Deet's question, and I think that I want to hear your input, and I may have some too. But what about the issue, like the early issue when streaming? Of relying on other people to be in your stream to fill the void. Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, that's definitely very challenging. The way that I kind of got over it, and I don't want to say get over it, but the way you kind of like, everyone kind of has that issue when they first start streaming or at the beginning of streaming, and you have to talk like your chat is there. You have to talk like somebody's there. Talk like you're talking to somebody. And because if somebody pops, so like I've definitely been there. I understand where like I don't have any viewers. I have 1 viewer. I have 0 viewers. Whatever it is. What's the point of me talking? But what you don't realize is when you have your viewer count up, it doesn't refresh as soon as somebody comes in. It's like every like minute or 2 that it'll actually refresh. And so you could be sitting there with somebody like, hey, I'll check out this streamer. And then you're just kind of sitting there not doing anything, not talking or whatever is going on, which I mean, it definitely happens. But whatever is going on, and they're like, wait, like what's happening, and you're just kind of like not doing anything, then they leave. So you never know. The big thing is you never know who's in your chat, you never know who's watching. So always present yourself or present your content as if somebody was watching there, even if you know there's zero. And you can also like click the little button and it hides it, and then you really actually have no idea, which I actually do sometimes. I'll hide my viewer count, and I'm just streaming. There's people there. I'll talk to them, or I'll do whatever I normally do.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'm an advocate for streaming with your viewer count off.
100%.
I rarely turn mine on, but I do check views post stream every day, and I have an Excel file that I kind of keep some data in. I really couldn't tell you how many viewers that I have on average. Like, I don't really try and look at those things because I think it's frustrating, but it is a fun fact. And I'm happy, like I happen to know because I put the data together last night. I had 282 different views last night, so that's unique viewers. I did not peak at 282.
Right? Yeah.
Concurrent viewers, but 282 people came to my stream in some capacity.
Exactly. Yeah, and so you have the opportunity to make an impression on each and every person that comes in that stream, whether they're a regular viewer or whether it's the first time there or whatever. That's a pretty big statistic. That's a huge number. First of all, that's insane.
I got retweeted by somebody.
I think mine are around like 70 unique viewers. About.
Yeah. I think roughly 100 is probably in like a 6 to 8 hour stream. I think 100 unique viewers is probably accurate.
Yeah. That's but yeah, I guess the big thing is just stream like somebody's there. You like make some content, and I've definitely been there where I'm like, wow, I'm not zoned out. This isn't me. I'm just kind of sitting here not doing anything. And then I realized like, holy shit, like I need to like start to do something. So this is kind of what I was talking about before, is like how to talk to chat.
Yeah.
That's like it's a skill that you learn over time. It's something that you have to develop. And the only way you're gonna do it and get better at it is by doing it. So
yeah, I think that if that's something you struggle with, I touched on this some with the last podcast, but find yourself, make somebody a moderator that returns to your stream. Make somebody a moderator that likes to talk. Like I'm a phenomenal moderator for you. I don't know if she's banned or done anything for anybody, but she chats, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, that means a ton. Like having a moderator that carries the conversation for me, or makes fun of me, or gives me something to talk about, like those pieces mean a lot too. So I not that Tuna's wrong. Like, practice talking. Just talk. You can delete the VOD if you don't like it, like just talk. But like having somebody else there to help carry that conversation, even if it is just in chat, is also really big.
Yeah, 100%. When I first started streaming, one of my good buddies, he still comes to my streams every now and then, but he would pop in my streams, and I did the same thing. I modded him, and so he was there. He would chat about certain things, this and that, and that kind of brings up another point is, you can reach out to the people that you know IRL, or like people like maybe you game with, even if it's every now and then, like, hey, I'm starting streaming, I'm pretty new to it, you mind if you stop by for a little bit? It would mean the world to me.
Yep.
And like to be honest, a lot of people who are viewers may be like, oh, I'm in there for like 2 minutes, like why does this matter? It means the world to a streamer. It really does.
100%.
So even if it's 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever it is, like, it's reaching out to your IRL friends is huge. That's what I did. A lot of my buddies come around to this day, and and like you said too, having somebody in chat that's kind of there holding a conversation, and that's pretty cool too. When you look over your chat, and I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. That's kind of cool. They're talking about something that like I didn't have to like. It's like the whole community growth kind of aspect of it.
Yep.
But yeah, those are probably those are probably the tips that I would give.
So in terms of content creation, how do you deal with copyright claims where everything is being copyrighted? So I put myself in that own boat, and I wanted to jump on this one first. So like every YouTube video that I've ever made gets some sort of copyright strike. I think understanding when it's worth it and when it's not is extremely important. So for me right now, I'd take that copyright strike every time if it's going to help grow my content, because I'm not getting paid on YouTube. I'm just not. Yeah. And so if I need to use something and it's not going to get my video removed, like audio, I'm about it,
Yeah,
because I
100%.
I want it to be engaging. And the way that YouTube works, and like I don't speak for YouTube, this could change now that I've said it, but like it's not that they take your YouTube video down if you use 45 seconds of a song. It's that the owner of that copyright is now going to monetize off your video.
Yeah,
Right,
your copyright strike. Yeah.
right now, for me personally, I'm okay with that because I'm getting like 10 to 15 views of video a day. And so I'm okay with that if that helps grow the video. You could see the repercussions down the road. And there are people like DK and bigger streamers and people that are very much tuned into that. Me personally, I want to grow the content, and I'll handle the copyright piece on the back end. Could bite me in the ass, but I think it helps my upfront growth. That's my viewpoint.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. I see Kev said that DK knows a lot about the whole copyright thing, and I don't know a ton about it, but I'm in the same boat. Like if you can avoid using a song, say like I had a tweet that I tweeted out months ago, probably back in like August or July of last year, and it actually got copyright striked like a couple weeks ago. And it was because it was a little clip montage thing that I did for an Apex game, and I put a Post Malone song in the background because I'm a big Post Malone fan. But like in that sense, like the song actually brought no value to the clip other than just having background music. And there's loads and loads of free like non-copyright music that you can just throw in the background. That's just like a little beat or whatever you're kind of looking for.
For sure.
So that's what I like, unless you want to embody something about that song, whether that song has a lyric in there that like refers to what you're talking about, maybe in the clip or on the video or something like that. That's kind of the approach I would take, and it's very similar to what Mast said. If you know it's going to get you copyrighted and it is not essential for a point you're trying to make, I would try to avoid it. But if it actually brings value to the content, and it's like you're a small enough streamer or small content creator, you're not gonna make money on it anyways, it doesn't really matter. Then if it brings value to the content, then I would say go for it.
Yeah, YouTube
But
makes it easy too, right? Because they've got that whole library
yeah,
of music.
yep.
Like,
There's so much there's so many outlets out there that can get you copyright for your music.
yeah, 100%. Does it make the transition hard once you start growing though? Like once you start monetizing your channel, doesn't that now promote an issue? Maybe.
That's something I don't know about. Really don't actually. I
Yeah, I mean, I don't obviously, like, I think Tuna and I are of similar viewership. I mean, yeah, I think it could, but for me personally, I again view it as I'm going to take long-term growth and short-term monetization loss. If that's ultimately what it comes down to. I'm not advertising or telling you to go like buy Post Malone's album and play it on your stream on full blast. But what I am telling you is to like understand what your content is. I play music at the beginning of my stream before I start every single day. And I've done it for 2 years now that I've been streaming. May is 2 years of streaming for me. So I've been doing it for 2 years and it's part of my channel. And literally every single VOD of mine has muted audio for the first 5 minutes. And I'm okay with that because I feel like it's part of who I am. Like, I think that it's part of my community. People appreciate it. I have some fun with it. I play some goofy music. It kind of sets the tone for me personally. And I'm a music guy. Like, I enjoy listening to audio. Like, I'm an audiophile. So those things mean a lot to me. It absolutely, I think, in the long term could. But here's my counter argument to that. You can just delete the video. Like, if it's a problem long term.
Yeah. And I believe videos individually, as far as YouTube goes, are demonetized. Not entire channels, unless the whole channel breaks some TOS thing that I'm not aware of. But yeah, just delete the video if it does become an issue, or if you see yourself start going like, hey, that video I posted 3 years ago was demonetized. Maybe I should actually get rid of that. But I wouldn't worry about it too much, to be honest. There's so many big streamers out there that do the exact same thing that Amass does. They play a copyrighted song at the beginning of their stream. They listen to copyrighted music the whole time, and they're massive streamers and they don't get DMCA'd. So if you're gonna is the position that we're in, we're gonna see it happening before it actually comes to us, so we can like stop it. Yeah. Essentially, it's gonna happen to the bigger streamers before it happens to the small streamers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely. Cat, you got like 45 seconds. Get them out. What questions you got? Because we've got some gameplay we want to bring to you tonight too, and Tuna might want to stream and do his own thing. So
I'm not going to stream, but I'm going to game. You best believe I'm.
We're gaming. We're gaming. So questions, hit me with them. If not, I'm going to transition this thing out of here. Oh, gameplay. Yes. So we've hit the time frame where soon I become a gamer again and not a podcaster. Tuna doesn't game with friends. Yikes. I'm going to let you and Tuna work that out in private. Favorite game from your childhood? You want to answer that first?
Favorite game from my childhood?
Because I can't answer that question. So I'm just going to let you. Game that made you into a gamer. There you go. Okay.
A game that made me into a gamer? I played games my whole life. The first game I ever played, I had 2 older sisters, significantly older sisters, that would always babysit my brother and I. And we would play like Nintendo 64 games like Duck Hunt and like Super Mario Party 64. And so like those were like the first games I started out playing. Yeah, they're fantastic games. Play them forever. And then I guess like my favorite game from when I was a kid, I was always loved the sports games, but like as far as we ever played the game Mercenaries?
No.
Like the PS2. Oh my gosh, this was I think I still own the game. It is a fantastic like open world. You're a mercenary in a war-stricken North and South Korea, and there's like all the different factions. It's so much fun. That's the game that probably made me into a gamer. That or like SOCOM US Navy SEALs. If you ever played that game on PlayStation, PlayStation 2, those were good games. Yes, I see it on your stream, dude. Mercenaries. That is one of the best games I've ever played my entire life. The second one is trash. Don't play the second one.
Okay, don't play the second one. Got it.
Yep.
I have no idea what this is. 2005.
It is so much fun. It is so much fun.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't really a PlayStation gamer, so I missed some of these.
Yeah, I was like PlayStation, like Nintendo stuff, then PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and then Xbox 360, and then yeah, and I don't know. My brother had a PS4. I played it sometimes, and then Xbox, and then
yeah, I went Genesis, Sega Genesis to Dreamcast to OG Xbox, and then 360, Xbox One, and then transitioned to PC. So I guess for me, the game that made me into a gamer, like, so my favorite childhood game, and I may get roasted for this, was easily Pokemon. Like, all about that.
Yes, dude. No, I love Pokemon.
Like,
I can't believe I forgot about that.
Dumped so much time into Pokemon games. Like, that answer is easy for me. But I wouldn't say that turned me into a gamer, right? Like, handheld gaming's kind of a weird spot. So I guess if you wanted to talk like gaming, I guess the games that I have the best memories of, and these are easy questions for me now, is like Modern Warfare 1, Halo 2, like the games where I played with people.
Modern Warfare 2 was Modern Warfare 2 was my first online game that I played, so I guess that makes me into a gamer, but it's also still to this day the best Call of Duty ever come out.
It's arguable.
Can't change my mind.
It's arguable.
But yeah, I guess I've always been playing it. Pokemon is a special place in my heart. I loved it. When I was a kid, I dressed up as Pikachu once for Halloween.
I'm gonna need that photo.
My mom probably has it.
Pokemon's good, man. It's just quality stuff. So favorite football team that is not the Green Bay Packers. I don't know if that's like an inside joke between you and.
Oh, I'm a diehard Packers fan. I see Ipa put the Seahawks. The Seahawks can fall off the face of the earth as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. I just like good football. I like at that point, it's more so like I like certain players. Um, big Patrick Mahomes fan. Obviously, he's a beast.
Yeah, the dude's crazy.
I always loved Peyton Manning, but obviously he's not playing
Also
anymore.
respect that. Yeah, yeah.
Always loved Peyton Manning. I don't know. That's actually a tough question. I guess if I had to pick one, would it be the Steelers? I love the Steelers too. I don't know. That's such a weird question for me. I really don't know. There's more so the team. I hate a bunch of teams. Then I just like I like the Packers, and then everyone else I'm kind of just indifferent towards.
Yeah, I mean, like the correct answer was the Philadelphia Eagles. So just
okay,
letting you know. I accept the Packers. Like I have no rivalry. Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback. Brett Favre, top 5 for me, as far as football goes. Like quarterbacks go. Great athlete, really, really cool guy. So, favorite college team. You watch college football? I don't watch college football that much because I miss college football. So it's hard for me to watch college football.
Yeah. I love college football. Probably the Badgers. Again with college football, actually like I watch a ton of college football, and I don't really like root for certain teams. I root for the Badgers. I root against like Ohio State.
Got you.
But like for me personally, I just like watching good football.
Yeah.
So if good football is on, I love watching it.
No, I respect that. I think that I would agree with that. I have a hard time watching college football. Just like there are times where I'm like, dude, could have been me. What would your biggest hobby be outside of if you did not play games or stream? What would your biggest hobby be? What are your biggest hobbies outside of streaming and games?
I'm a big foodie.
This is my favorite answer of yours of all time.
I love when I moved. So I moved to the Twin Cities over a year ago. I have gone to maybe the same restaurant. Like there's one down the road for me that's pretty good that I go to a little bit. There's one in the cities that I really like that has like the best burgers ever.
Right.
Other than those 2 places, I probably haven't gone to the same restaurant twice. I love exploring different food. And I'm trying to like kind of cook a little bit more. My cooking is not bad, but it's just not very expansive. I kind of cook the same things, but it's good. So I guess I would like to get into more cooking. Learn to cook more extravagant stuff. But yeah, definitely food as well as like different types of beer drinking and stuff like that. Like the Twin Cities has so many breweries, and I love just going from brewery to brewery, just trying different beers. That's definitely my favorite hobby.
I love to cook. I feel like that. Yeah, I enjoy cooking.
You were talking about you were grilling, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I love that. I love that.
I do. I enjoy cooking immensely. I watch an episode of Chopped literally every night before I go to bed. And I enjoy being unique. So what I don't enjoy is like taking a recipe and cooking, but like taking a product. So like with steaks, right? Like I'm going to marinate them 15 different ways or season them 15 different ways to find out which one I like the best. So like last night I did like this honey teriyaki marinade that I made. And I let them sit for 24 hours. And then I did some potatoes, wrapped them in tinfoil, and then I did garlic powder. I chopped up some onion, butter, salt, pepper, and just wrapped them and let them sit on the grill for like an hour, and it was amazing.
That sounds so good.
Yes, dude. Like I love cooking. So when I tell people that, they look at me and they're like, "What?" But I do. I enjoy cooking.
I do. I respect that. I wish I in my apartment I can't have a grill just because of the rules they have for the apartment complex. So I wish I could have a grill because I love grilling. But I was going to tonight, but it kind of got pushed back to tomorrow because I woke up super late today. I'm gonna be my first time baking salmon tomorrow. So that's gonna be my new thing that I'm gonna try out.
I like it. I respect that. Okay, so
fish.
Obviously you are up north. Yeah, like you're like a Midwestern northerner, not really a Yankee, but you're kind of a northern guy. I respect that. If you had to move to any state, like you got your choice, where would you go?
I could pick 3. I would. This is in no order because I have never actually been. I take that back. I've been to one of these states, but I would pick either Tennessee.
Hey, let's go.
I've been to Nashville, and Nashville's really cool.
Nashville's cool.
Yeah. So I would pick Tennessee, Texas, or Arizona.
Okay.
Texas is because I like barbecues, and I think Texas would be.
Yeah,
And also because of the
Texas
climate.
doesn't have
Everyone
barbecue.
says,
That's not barbecue. Memphis has barbecue.
gosh,
Texas
here
has
we go.
brisket. Texas has brisket. But that's
I
not
started
barbecue.
something.
That's not barbecue. Look,
I
dude, I've
started
almost
something
been in
that I can't
Memphis a year
finish.
now. I've almost been in Memphis a year. I'm almost indoctrinated. And I have to stand up for
Yeah,
Memphis barbecue.
I would love Tennessee, Texas, and then Arizona. And it's mainly because of food related reasons and as well as climate. I think Tennessee would probably have like the perfect climate. Texas would be nice. Arizona's probably super hot. So I don't know so much about that one, but those would be like the 3 states that I
I
would
respect
pick.
that. Nashville, dude. Next time you're in, have you been to Nashville? You've been to Nashville, I'm
I've been to
assuming.
Nashville, yeah. So I took a road trip with some of my buddies. Oh, this have been like 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. We were done with. It was actually about like this exact same time. We drove from Wisconsin down to Florida, and we stopped at Nashville for a night on the way back, and it was amazing. And I want to. I've only been there that one time, but I want to go back so bad.
Yeah, so I got to spend a lot of time in Nashville just through like IRL work.
Yep.
Dude, I got all the spots. So I had 2 things. Nashville hot chicken. There's 3 places you can go, but the only one that matters is Hattie B's, Hattieb.
Okay.
And there's one on the west side of Nashville. Don't go to that one. Go to the one right next to Vanderbilt. You're gonna wait literally in the road for about 45 minutes because they only let 10 people in at a time. And when you get to the counter, if you don't know what you want, they kick you out and put you back in the back of the line. So you have to know.
God.
But dude, like the best decision you'll ever make. The only advice that I would ever give you is do not eat Hattie B's and then finish your road trip. Like eat Hattie B's the night that you stay in Nashville, because about 2 hours in, you're going to stop. Like you got to go.
I mean, the next time I go to Nashville, it's going to be like to go to Nashville.
Yeah.
Just because I want to go for like a Thursday to Sunday, I think would be amazing.
Nashville's cool, man. Nashville's cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on
really
in Nashville.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a unique city, and so I can't really speak to like Texas. I've been to Dallas, I've not been to Arizona, but Tennessee's cool. I would tell you that Tennessee, like the end that I currently live on, is 120% the exact opposite of the other end of Tennessee, which I lived in for the past like 5 years. So like Memphis, dude, might as well be Midwestern. Like it's flat, there's no mountains, it's hot as hell. People don't consider themselves part of the South, and I don't consider this part of the South. Like it's completely different. Like 4 hours from Nashville, and now you're in like a whole new environment. But if you go Nashville and then you hook a right and you go towards the East Coast, like you get into the Smokies and that area, like that's where I grew up and spent my high school years. And then college, not really in the Smokies, but in the Appalachians. Like that area is beautiful too. So I respect the Tennessee decision. Tennessee's a cool state.
Damn.
You know, it takes 9 hours to get from one end of Tennessee to the other. 9 in a vehicle driving.
But that's super long.
Yeah, I didn't know that till I moved here into Memphis, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, it's kind of crazy, right? I think that's crazy.
We went all the way through Illinois. Illinois is the longest, most boring state of all time, by the way.
Flat and corn, man. Flat and corn.
Oh
I lived in
my
Decatur, Illinois, as a kid, so I've been there.
Because when we drove, like over half, or like I think almost half, it's like 8 hours of our trip was spent in Illinois. It took us so long to drive all the way from Wisconsin through Illinois.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that for me, I loved San Diego for TwitchCon. In that area,
I need to go to TwitchCon. That's like my number one like next vacation for me. It's TwitchCon, and then probably like Memphis or Texas.
Dude,
or Nashville.
I mean, you can come to Memphis. I've got an extra bedroom. Like that's cool. I'd be free. TwitchCon next year. For me, TwitchCon is going to be an every year thing as long as I can afford it. Like, wait, the extra bedroom is at Chari's house. Let me clarify. I don't actually have it. I'm in my extra bedroom. So you're going to live with my mod. I hope that's Okay. So, um, I don't know, man. TwitchCon San Diego, that area was crazy. Like it stayed
Did they already
70.
cancel it for this year?
I don't think so. I've been trying to find that out.
At this, well, it's end of September, so you never know.
Yeah, the dates, they
But
announced the dates, and I think that like so TwitchCon tickets last year went on sale the end of June. So I think we've still got some time. I'm hoping. I'm not keeping my hopes up very high, but dude,
yeah,
I gotta go.
same. I would
Yeah,
love to go. That'd be crazy if like we all just go to TwitchCon. That's like the first time we meet IRL. Man,
yeah,
that would be a good time.
dude. I wanted Toast to go with me so bad last year. And now that our group's
I
kind of
regret not
expanded,
going last year, but it makes me more excited to go this year.
we got to go. We've got to go. I mean,
I'm 100%
I,
100% gonna go.
and so for me personally,
next one.
we can just ignore chat for a second. For me personally, we can all just share an Airbnb. Like the only person I'm worried about is Toast might try and murder me, but like otherwise, I feel okay.
She might scare me.
Yeah, well, yeah, Ashley's a little scary, but I mean, even Ashley streams, right? So like she's in on TwitchCon. She had a lot of fun.
Okay.
And so she also is afraid of planes. So I think that I'm good as long as I get down there and back. I might get murdered after, but like the flight there, I'm the leg that she squeezes until it's purple. So I think I'm safe while we're there. You might die, but I'm probably okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm about it, bro. I'm about it. No, but for real, I would be like 100% like I'm down. I'm down to share an Airbnb.
What? Host, we're going to TwitchCon. We're sharing an Airbnb. Deets, I'm trying to meet y'all at TwitchCon. Absolutely.
Absolutely, bro.
So TwitchCon must-haves that I was unprepared. I just showed up at TwitchCon. Let me just be blunt. My dumbass walked in and was like, "What's up?" And everybody else is handing me like all this cool shit. And like some dude handed me a rubber duck with his Twitch channel on it, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, just pull your phone out and I'll give you my channel." And so like cards, bring cards, and have a like plan. So like we showed up, and then like I looked at the itinerary and I'm like, it'll be cool. We'll go to some of this stuff, dude. It's all so spread out, like so spread out. But I met some cool people. TwitchCon was a great network for me. Towhead Ty and his girlfriend are probably my biggest networking piece out of that, and we met in line while meeting Josh OG. So
that's cool.
They were really cool, man. TwitchCon was good for me. I enjoyed TwitchCon. Chat. I think we won a game.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your all's time. Give a round of applause up for the one and only streamer formerly known as Captainbigtuna. I appreciate you guys a ton. Thank you so much for hanging out. Tuna, thank you for being my guinea pig.
Dude, thank you for having me. I had a blast.
No, this was a good time.
Doing these little things. Yeah, dude.
This was a good time. You guys can find Tuna at twitch.tv/CaptainBigTuna. At least right now. It may change in the future. Best way to link up with Tuna is Discord. Yes.
Yeah, Discord, Twitter.
He does have a Twitter. He does also have an Instagram. He needs more selfies. Dude, did you see what I tagged you in on Instagram yet? You need to go look at my story. Oh, dude, it's bad.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just want to let you know I'm sorry. Just look at my story on Instagram.
I'm looking right now. Hold on. What did you do to me? I don't know why this is taking forever to load.
Plug the YouTube. Dude, you have no selfies. I don't either.
I don't.
Like, I was like, how the fuck do I get a picture of Tuna?
It's true.
Hard. Plug the YouTube. Plug your YouTube, sir.
It's just Captainbigtuna on YouTube. There's not like a special link because I'm not big enough. So just search me and smile.
I feel that pain. Make sure you guys go hit Tuna up. Hit him with a follow, some love. Hey, chat, I know that this is like the most disengaged stream that I have, but we appreciate you guys giving us questions and the laughs. The bits, the follows, those things are all huge too. But I apologize. Normally we try and read chat out, and it's tough when you're doing this because I'm just gonna be blunt with you guys. I'm trying to put this on YouTube, and it doesn't make for great content if I'm just staring at a screen and nobody can follow up. So appreciate you guys being understanding. I think we're gonna play some Valorant.
I'm down, bro.
Okay. I'll say goodbye to Tuna's face because it's about to go away. All right. Appreciate you, dude. That was a good time.
Dude, thanks for having me. I had a blast, for real.
I'm going to jump in, I guess, in my actual channel.